The Temple women's team is done here in Texas, but the men still have a chance to repeat some of their magic from last year. I'm OwlSports Update's James Urban here in Fort Worth, Texas, to recap the women's disappointing semifinal loss to Rice. I'll also detail what the men's need to do to beat Tulsa in the first round on Thursday night.
At the studio set, I'm Natalie Caranda. Later on in the show, part 2 of my series, Trippin' with Natalie, where we head out on the road with the lacrosse team's away game at Penn.
And I'm Miles Thurston. I have the latest on a star for the Princeton team, whose rise to the top has come earlier than most might have predicted.
And I'm Kayla Vine, live at Pearson McGonigal Hall. Later in the show, I'll be highlighting a volleyball duo that traveled 1,700 miles to play against the best in the nation. OwlSports Update is live and it starts right now.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another edition of OwlSports Update. Alongside Sarah Winton, I'm Sam Covone. We've got a mix of just about everything today, from European football, or as we like to call it, soccer, to American football and fencing and gymnastics.
But it's March, and that means we start off with basketball. One season is over while another season continues into the night. We start with the women, a semifinal game on Tuesday and a rematch of last year's semifinal game between two Owls, the 4th-seeded Temple Owls and the 9th-seeded Rice Owls. Late in the first quarter, Temple leads, but Rice's Victoria Flores ties it with a 3. With 50 seconds left in the first, Rice takes the lead as Emily Klaksic drains a 3 from behind the arc. 5 minutes into the second, Rice starts to pull away. Dominique Ennis for another 3. Rice hits 6 long balls on the evening. Temple looks to close the gap. Tariana Gary knocks one down from the key with 2 minutes and 30 left in the half. Skipping to the end of the third, Malia Fisher drives, lays it in, and draws a foul from Jaleesa Molina. Rice up by 15 after 3. With 4 minutes left, Temple still trails. Gary and Anissa Rivera miss their jumpers, but Molina cleans up and gets the foul. But it's much too little, much too late. Temple falls to Rice 67-49 to end its season.
Yeah, it was a disappointing loss. Obviously, we wanted to win. Rice played a tough game, lots of pressure. And we came out on the bottom side of it today. I just wish that for my kids that we could have pulled this off.
Thanks, James. Rice's run came to an end on Wednesday, but the USF Bulls moved into the finals, then ran past the Owls in the championship game, 69-62. USF takes the AAC title and gets the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament.
In our women's coverage, Kayla Turner was named the AAC 6th Player of the Year. Turner played in 30 games this season, starting in just 2. She averaged 10 points per game, which is the third best on the Owls.
In addition to Turner, the Owls had 2 first-team all-conference selections in Tariana Gary and Tiara East. The two have had an impact on the team on the court, but have had an even bigger impact on their teammates off of the court.
For the Owls, when Tiara East and Tariana Gary graduate in May, Temple will be losing much more than just their 2 leading scorers.
2 leaders coming back as well, me and T-Mac. So us being the older ones on the team, we knew what to do.
Tiara East and Tariana Gary were given a new role last fall. Of course, the 2 can score. They combined for about 40% of Temple's offense this season. But the biggest improvement came with their leadership, becoming better teammates.
I used to always be like just a lead by example type of player, but I feel like now this year with so many upperclassmen leaving and now I'm being the superior upperclassman, I feel as though I lead by example and I am a vocal leader as well.
As leaders on and off the court, Tariana Gary and Tierra East are held to a higher standard. They have to set their tone for their teammates during practice and on game day.
They're not allowed to have a bad practice. They have to have that energy and they have to be willing to go for the full 2.5 hours hard to make sure that everybody follows in their footsteps.
Both have different leadership qualities. East and Gary have learned together by watching former captains and embracing those qualities to make the team their own.
When things go wrong, I'm going to be there to step.
East and Gary not only scored a lot, but they were also both durable. Both players started in all 31 games this season for the Owls.
Now on to the men. The Owls are also down in Texas along with the women for a Thursday night first round matchup against Tulsa. Temple comes into the tournament with the 7th seed while the Golden Hurricane ranks 10th. Let's head down to Fort Worth where OwlSports Update's James Urban has a preview.
Thanks. The Men's are hoping to carry the 3-game winning streak into the postseason. They have an opportunity to do so against Tulsa in the first round. If they want to continue their recent success, it's going to have to be Zion Stanford, who's been averaging 20 points per game in the last 3 games, including that game-winning buzzer beater against South Florida 3 games ago that sparked this win streak. It's also going to have to be the senior leader, Steve Settle III, who led the team with 15 points in the season finale victory at home against North Texas. He was a huge part of the AAC tournament run last year. The Owls enter the tournament as the 7th seed and will have to win 4 games in 4 days if they want to go dancing later this month. Guys, from Dickies Arena, I'm OwlSports Update's James Urban. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, James. Here is a look at the bracket. The men's tournament kicked off on Wednesday with a Charlotte win over Rice. 4 games on Thursday with Temple and Tulsa set for a 7 p.m. start time. Quarterfinals are on Friday. The favorites include Memphis at the top of the bracket and North Texas on the bottom half. North Texas gets the Temple-Tulsa winner.
The semifinals move into the weekend. If the Owls are still alive, they'll play the first game in the semifinal doubleheader at 5. And finally, the title game will take place Sunday afternoon. An automatic bid is on the line for the winner of the AAC. This is the only way the Owls will be able to keep their season alive.
Before the postseason, the Owls played a final game at the Leah Course on Senior Day versus North Texas. Steve Settle starting it off strong with a huge dunk to put the Owls up early. Zion Stanford with a layup in the paint for 2 of his 14 points. But now, Mean Green's turn to catch up. Jasper Floyd cuts Temple's lead to 5 with a layup of his own. And it's Floyd coming to the net once again for the North Texas score. The Mean Green finally getting some momentum as Atten Wright sinks the shot and the and one to make this a 1-score game. With less than a minute left in the game, Matteo Piccarelli misses the 3-point shot, but don't worry, Zion Stanford is there. He gets the ball to Shane Dezzoni for the score and the win. Dezzoni gives himself and the rest of the seniors a reason to celebrate. Temple takes this one 66-61.
It's time for us to take a quick break, but when we come back, Sam and I will look at 2 Temple athletes that you, our viewers, want us to talk about.
We've got football and fencing and volleyball, oh my, and it's all coming up in 90 seconds. Stick around. Welcome back. It's a new season with a new coach and some new faces. Temple football is preparing for the 2025 season, which starts off in Massachusetts on August 30th. The Owls' first 4 matchups of the season are non-conference. After the Week 5 bye, it is all conference play, starting with UTSA and Navy at the Link. The Owls have a 2-game road trip before coming home for a matchup with ECU. And before the Week 12 bye, the Owls will have to go through Army in West Point. The season wraps up in Texas on November 29th, when Temple plays North Texas. This week, the Owls started their spring schedule with new head coach Casey Keeler on the field for the first time. It's just day 1, so there's always plenty of optimism. And the new man in charge likes his team's approach.
Since the first day I got here, there's definitely been this, we want to win mentality. they're just so serious. And I'm trying to get them to loosen up a little bit, but I do love the fact that, 3-9, 3-9, 3-9 has been hard, and they want to get this fixed. So it's really encouraging to me that they have a mentality of, hey, we want to get this fixed. And they're really serious about it. And the effort they've been giving me in the weight room, in the mat drills, on the practice field, has been outstanding.
Fencing is a team sport that focuses on the performance of the individual players. OwlSports Updates' Miles Thurston is in the studio to discuss an individual whose performance is nothing short of exceptional. Hey, Miles.
Thanks, Sarah. Women's fencing has proven itself as one of the most successful D1 programs here at Temple, placing 8th nationally. One standout star has been Samantha Nathanson, who, despite being a freshman, has been a key contributor at each meet.
Samantha Nathanson came to Temple expecting to learn and grow from the sidelines. But just weeks into her freshman season, she found herself in a starting role, competing weekly for a short-handed Sabres squad. The jump to the collegiate level has been quick and demanding, but Nathanson is embracing it.
College fencing is a lot more fast-paced, and you're a lot more in it emotionally and physically, but I think that I love it so much.
Nathanson's competitive drive caught the attention of coaches early on, even before she started competing.
The first thing I saw in Sammy when we first started recruiting her is how she was with her teammates, how she was with her coach, even her parents. She's all about being supportive, being there for people, cheering loudly.
And once the season began, Ford says Nathanson's development on the strip has been just as striking. On the year, the freshman is 49-25, the most wins of any Sabre on the team.
Although fencing is an individual sport, when the mask goes on, Samantha knows she is never truly alone. From the energy on the sidelines to the guidance from her coaches and teammates, she credits the team dynamic as a driving force behind her early success.
I owe everything to my teammates, everybody on every single weapon. There's not a moment while we're fencing when there's silence. Everybody's always screaming their heart out.
What began with uncertainty has turned into a breakout season. And for Nathanson, it's only the beginning.
Samantha's success has earned her a spot in the North American Cup in Los Angeles in early April, where she represents the Owls on a national stage. In the studio set, I'm Miles Thurston. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Miles. It's time for our segment that we like to call Who Gives a Hoot. In the days leading up to our show, we put out a poll on X where our followers get to vote for some of their favorite student athletes.
The athletes that you all gave a hoot about this week include Babatunde Duradola and Madison Durunda, which makes sense as the two teams are heading into championship matchups. So let's start with Babatunde Duradola. He finished with 40% of the votes this week. The freshman power forward was one of the highest rated recruits in program history in recent memory. He was originally part of the 2025 class, but reclassed to the 2024 class. Duradola earned a spot in the starting lineup almost instantly and has continued to start in every game this season. He is shooting about 48 from the field, making 68% of his free throws. Duradola has been a constant force when it comes to rebounding. He's just getting better throughout the season, so he is definitely a key player to watch out for as the AAC tournament kicks off shortly.
For our second athlete of the day, as voted by you guys at home, we have Madison Durunda. She got 35% of the vote on our poll. Now, she's a senior gymnast from Waterford, Connecticut, competing in bars, beam, and floor. But she's a standout on the balance beam as she's been named to the All-Eagle second team in 2023 and in 2024. Besides that, she's additionally earned Eagle All-Tournament and All-Scholastic team honors. She also has a career high of 9.9 on floor and consistently scores 9.7 and above on beam. Something particularly special about her outside of gymnastics is that she's an advocate for autism and awareness in honor of her brother, using her platform to support the cause. Now that is all that we have for this edition of Who Gives a Hoot.
Make sure to keep an eye on our X account in order to vote for your favorite athletes on the next edition. We are looking forward to seeing who you will choose. Now, volleyball may not be in season, but the work never stops. OwlSports Updates' Kayla Levine is live at Pearson McGonigal Hall with the story of a coach and a player who are being recognized at the national level. Hey, Kayla.
Hey Sam, every year the women's national volleyball team has a nationwide tryouts for various international tournaments. This year's tryouts in Colorado Springs has a Temple connection from coach to player. Sydney Jones has already proven to be one of the best in the AAC, but now she's trying to do it on a national stage. Jones is one of more than 160 athletes who showed off her skills late last month, hoping to be picked for a national team.
So I feel like just to get that opportunity to play with a lot of really good girls, the best girls in the country, was a really good opportunity, and just to get the exposure to be in there too.
Jones got this invite to these tryouts thanks to head coach Linda Hampton-Keith. Temple's head coach is on the staff for the national team and has been involved in this program for many years. Both Jones and Hampton-Keith got the opportunity to travel from this court all the way over to Colorado Springs to show their national team-worthy abilities. Jones was an obvious pick. She was named the 2024 AAC Freshman of the Year after finishing second on the team in total kills. This trip to Colorado not only served as an opportunity for Jones, but also strengthened her bond with Coach Hampton-Keith.
And then when she told me that she was the one that's going to be taking me, she's going to be coaching, we got really excited. We were like, yes, like this is a great opportunity, bonding moment.
But also like it was really great for her to be in that environment where it's very challenging, but also confidence building at the same time.
Jones will now be looking to use the experience she gained in Colorado Springs for her second season on North Broad alongside Coach Hampton-Keith. Reporting live from Pearson McGonigal Hall, I'm Kayla Vine. Sam, back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Kayla. We're up against our second break of the show. Don't go anywhere.
Our own Natalie Coranda is back with the second installment of her semester-long lacrosse series, Trippin' with Natalie. She'll take us on the bus to Penn when we return in just 90 seconds.
Welcome back. Over spring break, the Temple lacrosse team played 3 games. One win came against Queen's University of Charlotte. The Owls also lost to nationally ranked UNC and also UMBC.
2 of the 3 games were on the road in the Tar Heel State. Temple's road trips can include flights halfway across the country in addition to bus rides halfway across the city. Here now is OwlSports Updates' Natalie Coranda live at the studio set with part 2 of her lacrosse series, Trippin' with Natalie. Hey, Natalie.
Thanks, guys. For the second installment of my semester-long series, I hitched a ride on the team bus while the Owls traveled for a crosstown matchup against Penn just before spring break. Here's an exclusive inside look at how the Owls prepare on the road. Game day on the road can look so different to a Division I team.
We're leaving at 2:30.
No matter if it's 20 minutes away or hours away, no matter if it's bus ride or a plane ride, each experience is unique. The Temple lacrosse players arrive at the locker room, sometimes hours before the bus is set to leave. This time, it's a mid-afternoon departure for a short trip to Penn. Once the gear, uniforms, and food are packed, it's time to load the bus. As the team settles in, head coach Bonnie Rosen runs through a laundry list of reminders.
Cleats, turfs, sticks, goggles, helmets, protective equipment.
After a quick hello to the bus driver, it's go time at 2:30. In the front of the bus, the coaches talk strategy while the team mentally prepares for the game in the back. It's a calm environment, but once Penn is in sight, the music takes over and the bus ride turns into a pregame party. Upon arrival at 3, Coach gives a brief rundown of the logistics, which are different at every location. In this case, Penn's locker room is about a 10-minute walk from the field.
Just to be safe with everything, we'll take everything from the locker room.
Once everyone is on the same page, the team gets off the bus and collects the gear. Everyone then heads into the locker room. The coaches scope everything out while the team gets changed for its 5 o'clock game.
So we're going to gather our stuff and we'll go for a walk.
Win or lose, there is a post-game event when possible. On this day, the players eat with family and friends minutes after the game ends at 7:15. It's a quick meet and greet because the team needs to get back on campus. The players must triple check to make sure they have all of their equipment, especially the sticks. And And then once on the bus, the captains have a
My
moment.
shout out is to Maddie Moten. I thought you did a great job talking on defense, and that really kept us together and it helped me out a lot.
The bus arrives back to the Temple Sports Complex at 7:45. It's everyone's job to gather their things before heading home.
Make sure everything is cleaned up off the bus.
In all, it's a 7-hour game day experience for a game less than 4 miles from campus. The trip to Penn is about the closest road game Temple will play all season.
This won't be the only time I'll catch a ride on the bus with the Temple lacrosse team. In a few weeks, I'll be spending 2 whole days with them as they travel to Norfolk, Virginia to take on Old Dominion. This will include a look at a 6-hour bus ride, team meals, and an overnight stay. But before that April series finale, I've got other stories to tell. 2 weeks from today, I'll have the 3rd installment, which features a new teammate, Ryder Heckman, who joined the team through the Friends of Jacqueline Foundation. Ryder got to celebrate his 7th birthday during the Owls matchup against UMBC. The team showed all the love to him on this very special day. Again, part 3 will air on March 27th, right here on OwlSports Update at noon on TUTV. Also, be sure to follow along on socials at OwlSports Update for more behind-the-scenes looks in my travels with the team. That's all I have from the studio set. I'm Natalie Caranda. Sam and Sarah, back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Natalie. We're up against another break. On the other side, a first for 2 Temple programs that include gymnastics with a major meet coming to town.
And 6 Philly schools and 1 soccer title. Temple is gearing up to battle the best teams from our area. We'll take a look in 90 seconds. Welcome back. The Temple men's soccer team is getting set to do something it's never done before. The Owls will compete in the inaugural Philly Soccer 6 as part of their spring off-season. OwlSports Update's Jay Matthews II has the story.
Temple's men's soccer kicks off its spring a little different. Yes, it's the off-season, but the competition will be unlike anything the Owls have ever faced. Most of Temple's spring games will be focused on the Philly Soccer 6 Cup.
A very nice tournament that we're fortunate enough to be part of. Brings a rivalry out in a season where most teams don't really compete.
The tournament will have North and South divisions, with each team playing 2 divisional opponents. Those seedings will determine who plays for the title on April 12th.
Some teams will still have an exhibition mode to it, but it'll give us a chance to do what we've worked on this spring against somebody else.
The Owls are coming off of a 5-7-5 record in 2024. That was good enough for them to qualify for the AAC tournament for the first time in 3 seasons. The spring season is the off season, so games don't count. But adding some local flair to the Philly 6 tournament brings more emphasis to winning games for Temple as they are facing their local rivals. Depending on how the Owls do, they could face Villanova, Drexel, or St. Joe's in the title game in mid-April. For the Owls, it all starts at the Temple Sports Complex Friday in that first game against Ryder. For OwlSports Updates, I'm JM2.
Thanks, Jay. That will do it for this edition of OwlSports Update.
Make sure to follow us on socials at OwlSports Update for the very latest in Temple athletics.
From Annenberg Hall, I'm Sam Covone. She's Sarah Winton. Have a great rest of the week.